Hi, and welcome back. In the last lesson, I asked you to display this output right here. I asked you to use 3 print statements to print out a display like this. Here's how I did mine. I have 3 print statements. The first print statement I use to introduce myself. Second print statement I say I like to code in Python, and the third one says I like to play video games. So if you have something similar, then you should be good. Now let's move on to today's lesson. In today's lesson, we will be looking at values and their types. From what we learned in the last lesson, each value in Python can be displayed in the console using the print function. We simply do so by writing the value in between the parentheses of the print function. In the last lesson, we printed hello world to the console. If we want to print multiple values, we separate them using a comma inside the parentheses. The comma is not printed in the console, but each value is separated by a space in the console. So we can separate hello world into hello and world with a comma. The output would still be the same since the comma would now be replaced by a space. We would have to put both hello and world in between single quotes since they now represent 2 values. Now, each value in Python belongs to a certain type. Hello world in this case belongs to the type string. We will look at a couple more of these types in the next slide. The type of any value is referred to as its class in Python. To find the type of any value, we use the type function. We do so by writing type, followed by parentheses, and the value inside the parentheses. This, however, does not print the type in console. To display anything in the console, we put it inside the parentheses of the print function. So, we put the type function with the values inside the parentheses of the print function. This will display the type of value in the console. Now, let's look at some different types of values. The first type we will look at is integer. This includes any whole number without decimals. They are referred to as int in Python. They can be positive or negative whole numbers like -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Numbers with decimals are known as floating point. They are referred to as float in Python. These can also include positive and negative numbers such as -1.4, 0.0, and even 3.0. Let's look at another type of value. The last type we will look at today is string. They are denoted as str in Python, short for string. These can include any sequence of characters or numbers. Strings are written between single quotes. If you need to add a single quote to your string, simply add the escape character before the single quote that is part of your string. The escape character in Python is the / symbol. To add a backslash to your string, just escape the escape character. Other examples of strings include hello world, someone's name, or even an email address. If we do not write anything between the single quotes, that is considered an empty string, but still a string. Now, let's write some code using these types. So, as we learned in the last lesson, we can type in print hello world, and as expected, it prints out hello world. But now, we can do something else with it as well. If we print the type of hello world, it says class str, which stands for string. We can do the same thing with numbers as well. But notice how I did not put numbers in single quotes. Single quotes are only for string. If I print 1, it prints out 1. And if I print the type of 1, it will say that it belongs to the class integer. We can do the same thing with floats as well. We can say print 1.1. Then we can say print me the type of 1.1. Go ahead and press enter, and now we see class float, which stands for floating point. And as we learned, we can type multiple values in using the same print statement. For example, we can type in hello. Need to remember to put the quotes. If we press enter now, it prints exactly the same thing as the first one. As you can see, the comma is now replaced with a space. We can type in different values, different types of values. It doesn't have to be the same type. We can type in hello, 1, comma, another one, world. Now it's going to put in a space between each value. Hello, 1, world. As we can see, this is just as expected. We can take it one step further and go print hello, world. And then after that, we can print the type of hello world as well. If we do that, it's going to say hello world, and then it's going to print out the class that it belongs to. So that's it for the coding for this lesson. Let's move on to the problem now. The problem for this lesson, I want you to display an output like this. First, you would output your name and then the class that it belongs to. Then output your age and then the class that belongs to. And then output your height and output the class that belongs to. This should be a simple one. See if you can figure this one out. I will show you my code in the next lesson, and I'll see you then.